Christine, the Raptors were holding court with the Pacers at Scotiabank Arena tonight. Toronto building up a 24-point lead in the second half, but Indy would cut that lead down to 2 in the fourth quarter. The Raptors, though, getting it done, punching out the Pacers 122-111. Scotty Barnes with 35 points. RJ Barrett also lighting up the scoreboard with 29. OKC with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander hitting Scotiabank Arena on Thursday. Hockey happenings. The Scepters doing the Battle of Ontario, the PWHL edition in Ottawa. And it was a night to remember for one Toronto rookie.
Izzy Daniel, Lauren Bernard, Izzy Daniel scores! Another first career goal, this time for Toronto and Izzy Daniel.
Yeah, that goal would give the Scepters the lead too late in the second period, but Ottawa scoring 2 in the third. They escape with a 3-2 win. Minnesota in town to meet up with the Scepters on Saturday. NHL on Sportsnet. Oilers in Vegas. No score between them and the Golden Knights in the second period. Baseball, the Blue Jays signing minor league deals with infielder Michael Stefanik and pitcher Kyle Gowdy today. Both will receive invites to big league spring training. Juan Soto watch continuing as well. His agent Scott Boras saying today that he's eliminating teams at this point, but still no signing is imminent. Jays still reportedly, though, very much in the hunt. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca.
Ho, ho, holy moly.
Santa, welcome to Indigo.
Heather, Indigo's chief book lover. Just who I was looking for. I need the perfect book for the reader always looking for the incredibly written gem of a novel. Any ideas?
I know just the book. In Winter, I Get Up at Night. A long-awaited new book from award-winning Canadian author Jane Urquhart.
Well, I'm happy I ran into you.
Who's next on your list, Santa?
At Indigo, we've got gifts so special, even Santa shops here.
Hi, Alan Merriam from Merriam Pianos, announcing our largest holiday clearance sale ever. Every piano is reduced to clear. Choose from over 300 open box premium digital and acoustic pianos, all certified and warranted, starting from just $295. And brand new baby grands from just $89.95. Merriam's holiday clearance sale, Canada's largest selection, on now at all Merriam and Robert Lowry locations.
680 News Time, 10:49. Prime Minister Trudeau met with opposition leaders today to discuss how his meeting went with Donald Trump after he invited Trudeau and other federal officials for a dinner at his Mar-a-Lago mansion. The group discussed Canada-U.S. border security and included Trump joking about making Canada a 51st U.S. state. 680's Cormac McSweeney is on Parliament Hill.
Opposition leaders left the meeting saying it was a constructive conversation, and Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre said he would defend Canada against a terror threat all he can. But moments later in question period began attacking the government over the border, prompting this response from Prime Minister Justin Trudeau.
It needs to reflect carefully on whether he really wants to amplify the erroneous narratives that the Americans are putting forward.
The feds have not revealed a detailed plan for the border, only saying they're looking to purchase new drones and helicopters for border agents and the RCMP. President Trump has threatened a 25% tariff on all Canadian goods unless drugs and migrants stop crossing into the U.S. Fox reports he told the Prime Minister at their Friday meeting if Canada can't handle that, it should become the 51st state. Public Safety Minister Dominic LeBlanc, who was at the meeting, says it was just a joke.
It was a social evening, and there were moments where it was entertaining and funny.
Cormac McSweeney, Parliament Hill.
Coming up, a new report advises that Canada needs to better manage health care as costs rise with an aging population. That story in traffic and weather up next.
Looking for value? Get more for your PC Optimum points during the Holiday Super Redemption event at Shoppers Drug Mart. From now until December 4th, redeem 50,000 points to get up to $75 off. That's an extra $25 in value. Conditions apply. Plus, we've dropped prices on hundreds of everyday essentials. So visit Shoppers Drug Mart today and enjoy 2 great ways to save for the holidays. Exclusions apply. Details in store and online.
Ciao, I'm Dominic Fimucci, and I have exciting news to share. Ciao Rewards is here. Turn your love for pizza into delicious rewards. Download our new app and start earning points to redeem for free pizza and exclusive offers. Taste the difference even more with Ciao Rewards.
Now to the traffic center. Here's Asher Roth.
This report brought to you by AGM Renovations. A lot of construction tonight. We'll start on the eastbound 401, where you're going to find the ramp to Dixon shut down, and then heavy delays from approaching Avenue to east of Yonge in the Collectors, and also from approaching Yonge to east of Leslie in the Express. You're down to a single lane in both of those spots, and they've closed the ramps from Leslie and also from Stevenson onto the eastbound 401. You cannot exit to the DVP 404 from the Collectors. You can still access them from the Express, and the ramps to and from Victoria Park, to Warden, to Simcoe, and to Liberty are shut down. Westbound 401, there are lanes blocked beyond Harmony, the two left lanes taken out. No access from Liberty or from Ritson. The ramp to Bowmanville Avenue is closed, and then the express lanes are shut down approaching Avenue to approaching the 400. Northbound DVP, now two left lanes are blocked north of the Gardiner to north of Dundas, so it is heavy from east of Jarvis on the eastbound Gardiner up to north of Dundas. You can't get on from Queen or Dundas, but the eastern ramp remains open. No access to the southbound 400 from westbound Rutherford. Southbound 404, no access to the eastbound 401. And if you're headed east on the QEW, expect delays from Erin Mills to Mississauga Road and from east of Hurontario to Dixie. Two left lanes are blocked in both spots. Is your roof or windows over 10 years old? They could damage your home's interior. Call AGM Renovations before December 31st and get $4,000 off. Call 416-888-2727. With the forecast, meteorologist Jesse Uppel.
Cloudy with a chance of scattered flurries this evening and overnight. We dip down to -2. Winds making it feel more like -9. And heads up, give yourself extra time on the roads for tomorrow. We're expecting widespread snow for that early morning rush hour. Continuing into the evening hours, close to 5 centimeters for most areas across the GTHA, but locally higher in some spots, with lake enhancement possible due to strong southwest winds, upwards of 50 kilometers per hour. 1 degree is your daytime high. Gusty winds and scattered flurries for Thursday, a high of 0, and much cooler for Friday. Chance of flurries, highs near -3, and similar conditions for your Saturday. Tonight's low, -2.
Black Friday is on now at SportCheck. Save up to 60% on winter jackets, shoes, equipment, electronics, and more from the brands you love. See in store or sportcheck.ca for more details. Say it with sport this holiday season.
Black Friday is on now at Mark's. Until December 4th, save up to 70% in-store and online. Great deals with new offers on winter boots, jackets, jeans, and more. Visit Marks and Marks.com to shop and save.
This holiday season, feel good.
Its approach to health care to help manage rising costs as people age.
CSA Group, an organization that helps policymakers develop standards around health and safety, says healthcare currently costs about $12,000 per year for each person 65 years and older. That's compared to $2,700 for each person younger than 65. Today's report projects costs will continue to increase significantly, with seniors making up almost 23% of the Canadian population by 2040. Jordan Thurgood, manager of CSA Group's Public Policy Center, says governments need to invest more in illness prevention, including addressing factors such as housing, mental health, and loneliness, which affect people's overall health as they age. Nicole Ireland, The Canadian Press, Toronto.
Your business report up next.
Jim, sweetie, it's me, Dawn, on the radio. Please don't get me earrings again this year. I have a jewelry box full of them. I love them, but all I really want is a gift certificate to Thermea Spa Village. And who knows, if you get a gift certificate for 2, I might even make you my +1. Okay, love ya. This holiday season, give your loved ones what they really want. Give the gift of Thermea. Visit thermea.com/Whitby to purchase a gift certificate. Take good care.
The best part about giving an enjoyable gift from Vintages at LCBO is receiving an enjoyable experience in return. Earn 1,000 Aeroplan bonus points when buying any 12 wines from the Vintages new release or cellar collections. Why not give the wine lovers on your list some of the best and most interesting wines from around the world? You can shop and earn 1,000 Aeroplan bonus points today. Exclusions apply. Visit lcbo.com for full terms and conditions.
Now with the Market Minute, here's Chris McCusker.
Record highs on Wall Street again today for the S&P and the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ higher by 76. The S&P was up 3 points. The Dow down 76. Now shares in Amazon benefiting from the Black Friday Cyber Monday shopping data in the U.S. That stock was higher on Wall Street by more than 1%. Shares in Apple hit a record high today, $242.26. That stock now up 26% this year. Shares in Meta hit a record high, $614.20. And then shares in Palantir surging by about 7%, close to a record after the company was granted U.S. government authorization for 2 of its cloud services. Now on Bay Street, the TSX higher by 45 points, 25,635. Oil saw the biggest one-day jump in a few weeks. It was up by almost 3% on the day to close just shy of $70. And then gold higher again today. Now it's still down about 5% from its record high in October, but up by 28% this year, closing just below $2,700. At the Business Center, I'm Chris McCusker.
3 key severance pay facts you must know with Lior Samfiru from employmentlawyer.ca.
Fact number 1, a full severance package isn't just 1 or 2 weeks per year of service. It can be as much as 24 months' pay. Fact number 2, you don't have to accept a severance offer on the spot or by your employer's deadline. Thirdly, you are likely owed severance if you are laid off, fired for cause, or even a contractor. When you lose your job, don't settle for what your employer wants to pay you. Get what the law says you should have. My experienced team has helped tens of thousands of employees get their compensation when they were wrongfully dismissed. Before you accept any severance package, call me and discover why my employment law firm is the most positively reviewed firm in Canada.
Contact employment lawyer Lior Samfiru today. Get the advice you need and the compensation you deserve. Visit employmentlawyer.ca. That's employmentlawyer.ca.
Now, regional weather conditions for Monte Carlo Inns. With winter in the air, Monte Carlo Inns is excited to check you in. Whether for a comfortable night's sleep or your next important meeting, Monte Carlo Inns is your home away from home. Visit MonteCarloInns.com and save.
Partly cloudy across the GTA, and Markham right now sitting at -1, Mississauga -2, and Etobicoke -1 there. 680 news time, 11 o'clock.
Number 1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. 680 News Radio, Toronto.
Good evening. It is Tuesday, December 3rd. I'm Mitch Burke.
And I'm Christine Ritchie. Here's what's making news this hour.
Just hours away now from an Alberta clipper, clipping this province with our first fresh layer of snow. A weather advisory is in effect.
The TTC board has approved a winter ban of e-bikes and e-scooters, a ban that begins today.
Martial law is declared in South Korea before lawmakers override the president. So what happens now? And Donald Trump's first choice for Attorney General bowed out. Now there's word his pick to lead the Pentagon may fall short of the Senate support he needs to get confirmed.
The Raps roll past the Pacers at Scotiabank Arena, and the Toronto Scepters get zapped by the Charge in Ottawa. Sports at 15.
The NASDAQ and the S&P close at records again today. A winner on Bay Street, and one Canadian bank sees higher profits, but the stock was down. Business at 26.
680 News Time, 11:01.
Traffic and weather together on the ones now. Here's Asher Roth.
Thanks, Mitch. This report for Sportsnet. Lots of construction causing delays on the major routes. We'll start on the eastbound QEW, where you're going to find it heavy through a couple of spots in Mississauga. From east of Erin Mills to Mississauga Road, you're down to a single right lane, and then it's heavy from approaching Cawthra to Dixie. Again, 2 left lanes are blocked there. Westbound Gardner, heavy from approaching Spadina into the long-term construction zone approaching Jameson. Eastbound Gardner is heavy from Jarvis onto the northbound DVP up to north of Dundas because the 2 left lanes are blocked north of Dundas for construction. The Queen and Dundas on-ramps are also shut down. Eastbound 401, slow in a couple of spots from Avenue to east of Yonge in the collectors. A couple of lanes are blocked there. And then in the express lanes from approaching Bayview to Leslie, 2 right lanes are blocked in that spot. You'll also find a number of ramp closures through this stretch. You can't get on from Leslie or exit to the 404 DVP from the collectors. The ramps to and from Victoria Park are closed. So's the ramp to Warden, but you can get on from Warden tonight. No access to the highway from Stevenson, and the ramps to Simcoe and Liberty are closed. Can't get on the westbound 401 from Liberty, from Ritson. No access to Bowmanville Avenue. And then the express lanes are shut down from approaching Avenue to approaching the 400. No major delays through this spot, but also you will find no access to the westbound 401 from Martin Grove or from Dixon due to construction. Watch UFC Fight Night, pay-per-view prelims, and more on Sportsnet or stream on Sportsnet Plus. Plans start at $19.99 a month. Pay-per-views sold separately. With the forecast, here's meteorologist Jesse Uppel.
Cloudy with a chance of scattered flurries through this evening and overnight. We're down to -2. Winds making it feel more like -9. And the winds will certainly pick up through the day tomorrow. Gusts upwards of 50 kilometers per hour. We have winter weather travel advisories in effect for a large portion of the GTHA because we are expecting widespread snow to impact both the morning and evening commutes here in the city. 5 centimeters of snow locally, but higher amounts in some areas that receive lake enhancement with those strong southwest winds. We'll have a high of 1 degree. Your overnight low is -2.
Right now, -1, feeling like -5 in a partly cloudy sky. 680 News Time, 11:04.
Okay, ready or not, GTA commuters, we could be in for as much snow tomorrow as some of our friends up in cottage country got last weekend. Over the span of 20 minutes. That's not to dismiss what a few centimeters can do to one of the world's most congested cities, but it is a humbling reminder that we generally have it pretty good around here.
Yeah, we do. Toronto and the GTA are now under a winter weather travel advisory ahead of tomorrow morning's commute, with snow expected to begin in the wee hours of the morning and last throughout the day. Chief Meteorologist Natasha Ramzahai with what we can expect.
It's going to be light flurries throughout the day. That wind is going to be progressively picking up. By noon, gusts around 60 to 70 kilometers per hour. By 4 p.m., we're starting to see the next round of snow move in, and especially between 5 and 8 p.m. tomorrow, that's when this is going to be at its heaviest.
Downtown Toronto could see up to 4 centimeters of snow with higher amounts north and east of the city.
680 News Time, 11:05. Ontario's Auditor General turned in a nearly 1,000-page report today on the year that was for the Ford government, shining a spotlight on basically every issue you can think of. And it is her searing words on the ballooning cost of redeveloping Ontario Place and the rules she says were not followed that has ignited fresh opposition outrage at Queen's Park. And that is where we find 680's Richard Southern.
The Premier said redeveloping Ontario Place would cost the taxpayer very little. It couldn't be further from the truth, says the Auditor General. It pegs the redevelopment cost at $2.2 billion. Auditor General Shelley Spence also says Therma, the Austrian spa company that won a 95-year lease at Ontario Place, was given special access to provincial executives.
The call for development process was not fair and transparent.
In a statement, though, Therma says it followed all the rules. I asked Deputy Premier Sylvia Jones why Ontarians should be on the hook for more than $2 billion.
We have seen Ontario Place ignored, this beautiful gem that has been underutilized.
But it should cost $2.2 billion for that, Minister?
We are not at the final numbers yet.
The report also says relocating the Science Centre will cost $700 million, more than fixing it up at its current location. Opposition Leader Marit Stiles.
The Minister of Infrastructure has got to go.
Richard Southern, Queen's Park.
And the AG report also says that when it comes to dealing with with the opioid crisis and addiction, there are decisions being made without regard for proper procedures. Mark McAllister with City News is looking into that side of the story and gets reaction from the health minister.
Back in August, you recall, the government announced 10 sites are closing to make way for 19 homelessness and addiction recovery treatment hubs, or heart hubs as they're called. The report says that because only treatment and recovery services will be offered and not safe supply or drug consumption, that could lead to serious consequences.
We found that the supervised consumption sites currently have, for the 10 that are closing, have prevented 1,500 overdoses. So there is a potential that those overdoses could occur.
We are enabling and investing in a model that I believe will ultimately lead to people getting some hope and getting some pathways to treatment.
The ministry also accepted all 7 of the Auditor General's recommendations, including the need to develop a new opioid strategy.
680 News Time 11:07. With immediate effect, the TTC board has approved a ban of e-bikes and e-scooters through the winter out of concern they can catch fire. Councillor Diane Sachs disagrees with the move to ban them from all buses, streetcars, subways, and stations.
We knew at the last meeting exactly what this report has told us, which is that the equity implications of this proposed ban would be terrible on the most vulnerable people. And we also know that the scientific basis for the proposed ban is silly.
The ban will be in place until April 15th. It does not apply to people with disabilities who use wheelchairs or other assistive devices to get around. It's also not clear when enforcement will begin.
680 News Radio. Developing story.
Pete Hegseth, Donald Trump's choice to lead the U.S. Department of Defense, may not be the pick much longer, with the Trump team now reportedly considering replacing him. Sources tell CNN that Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who ran against Trump in the Republican presidential primary, could be the choice, with U.S. Senators Joni Ernst and Bill Hagerty also on the table. Now, Ernst, for her part, was due to speak with Hegseth in the coming days on Capitol Hill. She is a outspoken advocate for women in the military, something Hegseth has been on the record on a podcast saying he would do away with. As CNN's Kristen Holmes reports, today more questions were raised about whether Hegseth's nomination would have enough support to be confirmed.
We saw so many of these allies of Donald Trump, these senators, coming out and saying they had concerns, that they had more questions, that they believed that he should be vetted more thoroughly.
And tonight, NBC News reported that 10 current and former Fox News employees say Hegseth drank in ways that concern them. Hegseth and his mother will both reportedly soon appear on Fox News in the wake of the allegations of assault, which he has denied, and surrounding his drinking. His mother became involved in the controversy when the New York Times published an email that she sent her son during his second divorce proceeding, accusing him of mistreating women. 680 News Time 11:09.
Your trusted news.
680 News Radio Toronto.
I'm here with Bill Coy of Coy Brothers, and we're talking about soup. Apparently, Bill's got stock in a hot product.
That's super funny, but I'm trying to talk about our stock of Toro snowblowers.
Stir the pot, chef.
Oh, brother. Toro snowblowers are a hot product this time of year, and we have a variety of models in stock to clear every size of driveway. You better be ready. It's going to be a white Christmas.
When you think of soup or snow, think Toro snowblowers from the pros at Coy Bros.
KOOYBROS.com.
Now the gas price update, and Pro predicts the price will rise a cent at midnight, up to $1.51.9 cents a liter at most GTA stations. 680 News Time 11:10.
It's the News Radio Sustainability Report with Richard Detman.
Powered by Enbridge Sustain.
As our population grows and accessing important resources gets harder, things like having clean water will continue to be at the forefront. Sustainable water purification technologies are growing in interest as they provide very real solutions to large-scale issues. Technologies like reverse osmosis and UV filtration greatly improve quality and provide access to safe, clean water. Increasing the amount of fresh water available and innovating portable solutions will have an enormous impact on human health, with a goal of providing reliable access to clean drinking water for as many people as possible.
The News Radio Sustainability Report.
Powered by Enbridge Sustain.
For a limited time, save up to $1,000 on a featured SmartFlow system and get up to $3,000 in rebates. Terms and conditions apply. Go to EnbridgeSustainSmartFlow.com to learn more.
680 News Time, 11:11. Traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Asher Roth.
This report is brought to you by TSC. Pretty busy drive because of all this construction on the major routes. We'll start on the eastbound 401, where you're going to find delays from Avenue to Young in the Collectors and from Bayview to Leslie in the Express. You're down to a single lane through both spots. Also now starting to slow east of the DVP to Warden in the Collectors, where you're going to find a couple of right lanes blocked there as well. A lot of ramps affected. I've mentioned them several times, but let's go through once again. No access to Dixon, to or from Victoria Park, to Warden, to Simcoe or to Liberty, and the ramps from Leslie and Stevenson onto the highway are shut down. Can't get on the westbound 401 from Liberty, from Ritson, from northbound Allen to the express lanes, and the Martin Grove and Dixon ramps are shut down. You can't exit to Bowmanville Avenue either. Construction is also causing delays both ways approaching Simcoe Street in Oshawa as that bridge work continues. Very slow at the bottom of the northbound DVP. In fact, it's slow all the way back onto the eastbound Gardner from Jarvis to the DVP up to north of Dundas. And that's just because two left lanes are blocked for construction. It's also got the ramps from Queen and Dundas onto the northbound DVP shut down. Slow on the eastbound QEW, east of Erin Mills to Mississauga Road. You're down to a single lane there. And then slow from Cawthra to Dixie. Two left lanes are blocked there. Westbound QEW, slow from the 427 to Dixie. Two left lanes are taken out in that spot. And if you're traveling on the southbound 400 south of King Road, the right lane is taken out. No access from westbound Rutherford or from the eastbound 407 due to construction. The TSC holiday deal of the day is over 40% off. The Cuddle Duds Fleecewear PJ set. Today's showstopper at tsc.ca. Exciting offers every day. With a look at the forecast, here's meteorologist Jesse Uppel.
We have the chance of scattered flurries continuing this evening and overnight. We drop down to -2. We'll feel more like -9 with a wind out of the southwest, gusting upwards of 40 kilometers per hour. Stronger winds for tomorrow and widespread snow impacting much of the GTHA, which is why we have those winter weather travel advisories in effect. About 5 centimeters of snow will likely fall here in the GTHA, but locally higher amounts with lake enhancement for some areas. That snow begins early tomorrow morning, continues into the evening hours. We'll have a high of 1 degree. Strong winds for Thursday, chance of flurries, and a high of 0. Tonight's low, -2.
It's -1 right now in Pearson. The wind chill making it feel like -7. 680 News Time, 11:14.
Interest rates have finally started coming down for the first time in 4 years. Now is the time to use a Flexi line from Capital Direct to take control of your plans and finances and make it happen. Maybe it's that renovation you've been thinking about or investing in a new property. If you could borrow $80,000, $280,000, or even $2.8 million, how would you invest in yourself, your life, and your future? Find out why Canadians have been trusting Capital Direct for decades. Call Capital Direct today at 1-800-NEW-CAPITAL.
A tense day for South Koreans who, over the course of a few hours, witnessed their country be sent into and then pulled out of a presidential order of martial law, where all gatherings would be banned and the news media would be under government control. The president's chief of staff and others have handed in their resignations. Opposition leaders are calling for the president to resign or be impeached, and protests have now broken out. A number of people in South Korean political spheres are reportedly concerned that North Korea could see the events unfolding as a moment of weakness for the South and then take some sort of action. U.S. President Joe Biden says he is being briefed on the situation in South Korea. We're back in 30 seconds.
If it's a flat or a squeal, a wobble or peel, your tread's worn down or you need a new wheel, wherever you go, you can get a pro at Tread Experts.
From Toyo's Observe Winter Tires to the Celsius and Open Country lines of all-weather tires, Toyo has a cold weather solution for you. Toyo Tires, making tires for your road. Find a Toyo Tread Experts dealer near you at treadexperts.ca/locations.
From tires to auto repair, we're always there. TreadExperts.ca.
Toronto's trusted news. 680 News Radio.
It is -1 right now at Pearson. It feels like -7. It's a partly cloudy sky. Good evening to you. I'm Mitch Burke. You know, at least we're being given the chance to ease our way into winter. 5 centimeters could be on the ground for the city tomorrow, with more to the north and to the east. As an Alberta Clipper sweeps through southern Ontario, your next look at the forecast is coming up at 11:21. And coming up next in the news, how much more you could be paying for your trash to be taken away and for your taps to still be working at home. That is coming up next in Municipal Affairs. But first, it's time for sports at 11:16, and here is Mike Leach.
Mitch, the Raptors back on the home hardwood tonight at Scotiabank Arena, and this one was the RJ and Scotty show.
Barnes to Pirtle, back to Scotty on the near side. Now driving, saw seam, floater, off glass and in, Scotty Barnes. He should be flexing again right now.
Oh, he was flexing all night long. Scotty leading all scorers with 35 points. RJ Barrett pouring in 29. Pascal Siakam with 16 points for Indy. The Raps win their third game in the last 4, 122-111 over the Pacers. The Thunder roll into town on Thursday. Pucks in the PWHL. The Scepters taking the show on the road. They were in Ottawa. Toronto led heading to the third period, but they can't stop the charge. Ottawa with 2 goals in the third to win it 3-2. Izzy Daniel with her first PWHL goal for the Scepters. Minnesota in town on Saturday at Coca-Cola Coliseum. In the NHL, Montreal sliding by the Islanders in overtime 2-1 to the Diamond. The Jays signing infielder Michael Stefanik and pitcher Kyle Gowdy to minor league deals today with invites to Major League Spring Training. GM Ross Atkins also saying today that the Jays remain interested in bringing back reliever Jordan Romano next season. He was non-tendered by the club last month. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca.
Join the circle of life at The Lion King. Don't miss your chance to experience the world's #1 musical. The Lion King is one of the most awe-inspiring productions ever brought to life on stage. Feel alive at The Lion King. Now on stage at Toronto's Princess of Wales Theatre. Give the gift that roars at Mervish.com.
Keep it rolling. Keep it rolling. Keep it rolling. Active Green and Ross.
Warm up to winter savings with Michelin. Get up to $100 Michelin prepaid MasterCard when you purchase a set of 4 Michelin tires between October 4th and December 20th. From tires to tune-ups, we won't be undersold. There's no better place to buy your Michelin tires than
Active Green and Ross.
Conditions apply. See store for details.
6:80 News Time, 11:19. If Toronto City Council approves it, you'll be paying nearly 4% more for garbage collection and to keep the water flowing. A staff report released today recommends a 3.75% interim increase that would take effect on January 1st. It would push the cost of a small bin up by about $11 to just over $300. A medium bin would be about $13 extra at almost $372. The large bin is $18 more at $505. The extra large bin goes up by $21 to about $585. Now, for the average household, water use will cost an extra $39 a year for a total of just under $1,000. The proposed rates and fees will be considered by the Executive Committee next Tuesday and then by City Council the following week. 60 seconds from now, we'll check the drive and the extended forecast as we creep closer to what looks like the first the first notable snowfall of the season.
Search Kings announces Call Intelligence, the most important development in the history of Google advertising. Think of Call Intelligence as MRI technology for your business that sees clearly what aspects of your marketing are working, that evaluates, summarizes, and scores the profit potential of every incoming call, and actually trains Google to give you better leads. With Call Intelligence, you can stop guessing so you can plan and spend smarter. You want to stand out where your customers are online? Switch to Search Kings.
Black Friday madness is over. But rest easy. Black Friday deals have been extended at Sleep Country with the best offers on the best brands. Buy one, get one free on best-selling pillows. And right now, save the tax on everything, including sheets, duvets, and more, for a limited time only. Black Friday Extended is on now at Sleep Country. Don't miss it. Restrictions apply.
.680 News Time, 11:21. Now traffic and weather together on the ones. Here is Asher Ruff.
Hey, thanks, Mitch. This report is brought to you by Valley North Toyota. And there goes my voice. There it is. It's back. All right. So if you're traveling on the westbound 401, a lot of construction. It begins at Liberty Street. It's in the right lane. They've closed the ramp from Liberty Street. And then in Oshawa, you'll find the two left lanes blocked past Harmony. So it is a slow go towards Simcoe where that bridge work continues. They've closed the ramp from Ritson. Looks like you can exit to Ritson tonight, though. And then they have closed the express lanes from approaching Avenue to approaching the 400. No delays because of that, but you will find delays on the eastbound 401 in 3 spots. So first from approaching Avenue to Yonge in the collectors, from Yonge in the express to Leslie, and also in the collector lanes from east of the DVP to east of Warden. There are 2 lanes blocked in all 3 spots. Sorry, my voice is fading on me as the night goes on. If you're traveling on the northbound DVP, it is a slow go because of construction from north of the Gardiner up to north of Dundas. You're down to a single right lane. This is backing things up all the way back from Jarvis on the eastbound Gardiner towards the DVP and then up towards Dundas. So just a mess if you're trying to get onto the northbound DVP from the downtown core. You may be best to just take other city streets. The westbound Rutherford ramp onto the southbound 400, one of the many ramps closed tonight. You also can't get on the southbound 400 from the eastbound 407. Westbound QEW slow from the 427 to west of Dixie where the 2 left lanes are taken out. Eastbound QEW, 2 left lanes blocked east of Erin Mills to Mississauga Road. And then again from east of Hurontario to east of Cawthra, it's slower in that second spot. If you're traveling north on the 427, the ramp to the eastbound 401 has 2 right lanes blocked there. And southbound on the 404 south of Finch, right lane is blocked, and the ramp to the eastbound 401 is shut down. Your new Toyota is waiting for you at Don Valley North Toyota. Visit the showroom and get acquainted, or have a look at DonValleyNorthToyota.com, a division of Wayne's Auto Group. With a look at the forecast, here's meteorologist Jesse Uppel.
We have the chance of some scattered flurries this evening and overnight, but heads up, there's more widespread accumulating snow in the forecast for tomorrow, which is why we have those winter weather travel advisories in effect. We're down to -2 through the overnight. Wind chill near -9. Winds out of the southwest really start to pick up through the day tomorrow. Gusts upwards of 50 kilometers per hour. And in terms of that snowfall, it gets going through the morning hours and it continues through much of the evening. About 5 centimeters possible, locally higher in some spots, and reduced visibility within that blowing snow as well. 1 degree is your daytime high. Strong winds for Thursday, chance of flurries, a high of 0. And turning much cooler for the end of the work week. -3 for Friday, chance of flurries, and flurries possible once again on Saturday. Tonight's low, -2.
-1 right now at Pearson, still just partly cloudy. It feels like -7.
The holiday season is full of choices. Cranberry sauce or gravy, red wrapping paper or green. Squeeze your child into last year's coat or layer them up. Buy your family dinner or buy your daughter medicine. Find childcare or find a new job. Skip rent or skip Christmas. I'm Lieutenant Colonel John Murray of the Salvation Army. When poverty gives someone an impossible choice, your donation is their answer. Donate now at salvationarmy.ca.
I'm Jill Taylor.
And I'm Denise Andriecci.
At 680 News Radio, we live and breathe weather.
Sometimes I even dream about it.
When you're getting your kids ready for school or getting ready for work, we are there with the weather details you need.
Always tracking the next storm and monitoring the latest forecast.
And no other team in Toronto has as many meteorologists.
Trust the #1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather.
680 News Radio, Toronto.
In sports tonight, the Raptors pick up a second straight win over at Scotiabank.
The Raptors look to be cruising to an easy runaway win midway through the third quarter, but the Pacers mounting a fourth quarter comeback that would ultimately fall short, with Toronto taking it 122-111. That makes it 3 wins in the last 4 for the Raps, and RJ Barrett says they're starting to get a handle on how to finish games.
I think we're just, we're starting to figure out how to
win some of these games at the end.
Barrett with 29 points, while Scotty Barnes led all scorers with 35. And for Barrett, the two are really starting to click.
We complement each other. I think we don't step on each other's toes at all. So, playing with him has been fun.
Pascal Siakam with 16 points for Indy, while Aurora's Andrew Nembhard added 6 points and 4 rebounds in 19 minutes. I'm Mike Leach.
Want the best seat in the house for hockey?
Here's another chance to score!
Subscribe to Sportsnet Plus and stream the most NHL games available anywhere.
Did you see that? What a beauty!
See your favorite teams in action, at home or on the go.
Oh my goodness! 2 goals in 12 seconds!
Don't miss out on a full season of NHL action. Plans starting at $19.99 a month. Subscribe at sportsnetplus.ca.
Crowd's got a reason to come to its feet.
Brilliant deals are on with the IKEA winter sale. And now is your time to snuggle into savings of up to 50% off select items throughout the store. The IKEA winter sale runs December 3rd to 31st. Prices like these won't last, so shop in-store or online for quality items at cozy prices. No better time to save than December 3rd to 31st. IKEA, bring home to life.
Christmas News is brought to you by the Scott Mission.
Well, this is pretty much your last chance to get your tickets for an annual Toronto holiday tradition coming back tomorrow night to Massey Hall. Eva Francescatos reports the Andy Kim Christmas Show is happening tomorrow night.
The Andy Kim Christmas Show returns to Massey Hall. The 20th year will feature Andy Kim, the Bare Naked Ladies, Broken Social Scene, Rock Voisine, and more, with all event proceeds going to Cam H's Gifts of Light. Kim tells the CBC with all the excitement of this year's 20th anniversary, it reminded him of the first one, which was supposed to only be a one-time thing, and says he's humbled and honored. Kim, best known for his hits Rock Me Gently and Sugar Sugar, is also an Order of Canada recipient and Canadian Music Hall of Fame inductee. There are a few tickets left for the annual Andy Kim Christmas Show at Massey Hall. It takes place at 8 p.m. I'm Eva Francescatos.
Christmas news.
25 minutes past the hour.
On 680 News Radio Toronto.
Earnings in from Campbell's Soup after the closing bell, with earnings per share which did beat estimates. The company also hiked its dividend. CEO Mark Klaus, though, is leaving the company to become president of the NFL's Washington Commanders. Record highs for the S&P and the NASDAQ again today. The NASDAQ up 77, the S&P higher by 3. The Dow going the other way, it was down 76. Now on Bay Street, shares in Scotiabank down by about 3% on the day. The bank did report fourth quarter profits of $1.69 billion, up from the same period last year. Revenue also up from last year, but it still missed analyst estimates. Royal Bank and National Bank will report earnings tomorrow. Now, it was a winning day on Bay Street. The TSX higher by 45 points, 25,635. Oil closing just shy of $70. And then gold also higher today, seeing an advance on geopolitical concerns in South Korea and France. The price for gold is up by about 28% so far this year. At the Business Center, I'm Chris McCusker.
Alpine News Network is here live with one of our superheroes.
People sometimes ask, sure, you can consolidate people's debts using telekinesis, but what else can you do? As if changing lives isn't enough. Well, I can also use my power to make it rain hot dogs. It's still not as cool as consolidating debts into one easy payment, though.
Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved.
Just for license 12616.
We have a plan that's connecting Ontario. We're leading the largest transit expansion in North America. New projects like the Ontario Line subway and Hazel McCallion Light Rail will relieve overcrowding, with the Scarborough and Young North subways connecting more communities, and expanding GO Transit with more trips, faster train service, and two-way all-day service. Also, you can get around faster, safer, easier. See what we're building in your community at ontario.ca/builds. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
680 News Time, 11:30.
Number one for breaking news, traffic, and weather. 680 News Radio Toronto.
Good evening.
morning. It's Tuesday, December 3rd. I'm Christine Ritchie.
I'm Mitch Burke. Here's what's making news right now.
Your morning commute could be a challenge with about 5 centimeters of snow expected across the GTA beginning tomorrow morning.
Ontario's Auditor General releases a damning report on the Ford government, revealing excessive spending and shady bidding processes.
The call for development process was not fair and transparent.
And with the provincial election likely around the corner, Liberal leader Bonnie Crombie vows to help Ontarians.
I'm going to be laser focused on 3 things: getting everyone in Ontario a family doctor, cutting taxes, and making our communities safer.
And in the U.S., Donald Trump's pick to head the Pentagon, Pete Hegseth, could be replaced with new reports tonight on how much he drinks.
The Raptors hang on for a win at home over the Pacers, and the Scepters get rocked on the road in the nation's capital. Sports at 45.
Record highs for the S&P and the NASDAQ again today. It was a winning day on Bay Street, and the price for oil sees its biggest move to the upside in weeks. Business at 56.
680 News Time, 11:31.
Time for traffic and weather. Together on the ones, here's Asher Roth.
Plenty of slow spots on the major highways tonight, Christine, including as you make your way towards the DVP on the eastbound Gardiner. There's construction on the northbound DVP north of Dundas in the 2 left lanes, so it's slow on the eastbound Gardiner from Jarvis to the Don Valley Parkway, and then the DVP is slow northbound from the Gardiner up to Dundas. Just a mess there. You may want to take an in-town alternate. Parliament, Sherbourne, Jarvis, all looking better. So is Broadview if you can make your way there. If you're on the eastbound 401, seeing delays now from east of Bayview to Leslie in the Express. The spots through Avenue and Yonge and the Collectors is looking much better, but it is still pretty slow east of the DVP to Warden. The 2 left lanes are blocked there in the Collectors. If you're traveling south on the 404, no access to the eastbound 401. The Queen and Dundas ramps to the northbound DVP, by the way, shut down. Can't get on the southbound 400 from westbound Rutherford, and you can expect delays on the eastbound QEW east of Cawthra to Dixie, where the 2 left lanes are blocked. It's also slow westbound on the QEW from the 427 to Dixie because 2 left lanes are blocked there. Next reports at 11:41 with the forecast. Here's Jesse Uppel.
Cloudy with a chance of scattered flurries through this evening and overnight. We're down to -2. Winds making it feel more like -9. And the winds will certainly pick up through the day tomorrow. Gusts upwards of 50 kilometers per hour. We have winter weather travel advisories in effect for a large portion of the GTHA because we are expecting widespread snow to impact both the morning and evening commutes here in the city. 5 centimeters of snow locally, but higher amounts in some areas that receive lake enhancement with those strong southwest winds. We'll have a high of 1 degree. Your overnight low is -2.
It's -1 right now at Pearson. 680 News Time, 11:33.
So, what do you do when you hear a 5 centimeter snowfall is in the forecast? Is it an automatic work from home day or an invitation to test your driving skills? Maybe sleep on it because there might be enough on the ground tomorrow for that game decision.
Now, Environment Canada has issued a winter weather travel advisory for much of southern Ontario, including the GTA and Hamilton and northern Niagara region. As we hear from our meteorologist Jesse Uppel, we could see about 5 centimeters of snow across the GTA, with more north and east.
This snow will be accompanied by gusty winds coming in out of the southwest, which raises a concern for some locally higher snowfall amounts due to a bit of lake enhancement. Now, reduced visibility at times is going to be a concern with those gusty winds. So heads up, poor visibility at times, and a slow commute across the GTA.
The snow should taper off in the late evening.
The Ontario taxpayer continues to get milked by the Ford government. That was a general takeaway after the Auditor General released a very damning report today revealing ballooning costs on the relocation of the Science Centre and redevelopment of Ontario Place. 680's Richard Southern has more.
The Ford government's plan to redevelop Ontario Place will cost you, the taxpayer, $2.2 billion.
So finds the Auditor General. Her scathing audit also found the process for selecting new tenants for Ontario Place wasn't transparent or fair, and that moving the Science Centre to Ontario Place will cost $700 million, much more than fixing up the current location at Don Mills. I asked Deputy Premier Sylvia Jones why we should be on the hook for so much dough.
I would say we have seen Ontario Place ignored for far too long. This beautiful gem that has been underutilized.
It should cost $2.2 billion for that, Minister?
We are not at the final numbers yet.
Opposition Leader Marit Stiles wants heads to roll.
Hinga Surma, the Minister of Infrastructure, has got to go.
But Surma was not at today's news conference.
Hinga is ill. She was here. She would talk about the need to move forward on these projects.
Richard Southern, Queen's Park.
Now, Bonnie Crombie and the Ontario Liberal Party hosted a dinner at the Metro Toronto Convention Centre tonight. Crombie emphasized the need for politicians to listen to voters and to get the basics right.
I'm going to be laser focused on three things: getting everyone in Ontario a family doctor, cutting taxes and lowering your monthly bills, and making our communities safer.
Crombie also described Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's carbon tax as wrong and promised that, if elected, everyone in Ontario would have a family doctor within 4 years.
Garbage collection and water rates in Toronto are set to increase by close to 4% in the new year. City staff are recommending a 3.75% hike effective January 1st, and it works out to an added $39 a year for the average household using 230 cubic meters of water a year, pushing the annual cost to just over $1,000 in 2025. A small garbage bin would cost $11 more. A medium bin would just over $13 more, and the large one is up $18, and the extra large bin is $21 higher. City Council has the final say at its meeting in 2 weeks.
E-bikes and e-scooters are now banned for the winter on the TTC. It's because of the lithium-ion batteries the devices rely on. It will last until April 15th of next year and then will continue on every winter going forward. While the ban technically takes effect immediately, TTC Board Chair Jamal Meyer says it's unclear how enforcement will happen.
We have trouble enforcing the ban that's already on the books regarding the not bringing bikes in during rush hours. So this is something that staff are going to have to take back and sort of figure out in terms of how we ban e-bikes, who's actually going to be stopping people when they try to bring e-bikes on, and just making sure they understand the policies.
The ban applies to all TTC vehicles and stations. People with limited mobility are exempt. It was first considered amid ongoing concerns about lithium-ion battery safety after a fire on board a TTC subway train about a year ago.
680 News Time, 11:38.
680 News Radio. Developing story.
The U.S. President-elect Donald Trump's choice to run the U.S. Defense Department could be swapped out for another candidate who's more certain to be confirmed by the U.S. Senate. The Trump team is reportedly considering replacing Pete Hegseth as the pick for Defense Secretary. Sources tell CNN some of the options in play are the U.S. Senator from Iowa, Joni Ernst, her Senate colleague from Tennessee, Bill Hagerty, or Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who ran against Trump for the Republican presidential nomination in this year's election. And it comes as some key Republican senators are questioning whether Hegseth is fit for the job.
Now, no Republicans have said they will not support Hegseth, but even senators close to Trump like Lindsey Graham are wondering whether Hegseth can be confirmed, with a number of senators not certain if they'll back him. Hegseth faces allegations of assault, which he denies, and of problematic alcohol use. NBC today cited 10 current and former employees at Fox, which Hegseth worked for until the day that Trump picked him, as saying that his drinking was concerning. Hegseth and his mother are each reportedly set to appear on Fox News in the near future. His mother sent her son a scathing email, which was published by the New York Times, accusing him of abuse and mistreatment of women. She later apologized and said she was angry at the time she sent it.
Coming up in 30 seconds, a check on your gas prices.
Tired of paying transfer fees to send money abroad? Over time, they can add up to more than $100. But $100 goes a long way. That's a month of groceries in the Philippines. Or 60 liters of gas in India. So, send all the love with a $0 CIBC transfer fee, always. when you use CIBC Global Money Transfer. Visit CIBC.com/transfer. Conditions and CIBC foreign exchange rates apply. CIBC. Ambitions made real.
Now the News Radio Toronto gas price update. Enpro predicts the price will rise 1 cent at midnight to $1.51.9 a litre at most GTA stations. In 60 seconds, traffic and your forecast. 680 News Time, 11:40.
December 4th is National Cookie Day, and Subway has a sweet surprise for one day only. Buy any mouthwatering footlong sub and get a free footlong chocolate chip cookie. This offer is only on December 4th and available while quantities last. Available in-store or online. Head to Subway, grab your footlong sub, and celebrate National Cookie Day with a free cookie. This offer is redeemable at participating Canadian restaurants. Extras and taxes additional. One use per order. Cannot combine with other offers. Valid only on December 4th, 2024.
Ho, ho, holy moly.
Santa, welcome to Indigo.
Heather, Indigo's chief book lover. Just who I was looking for. I need the perfect book for my young readers who loved Harry Potter. Any ideas?
Oh, yes. Impossible Creatures is the book to enthrall Potterheads.
Well, I'm happy I ran into you.
Who's next on your list, Santa?
At Indigo, we've got gifts so special, even Santa shops here.
680 News Time, 11:41. To the traffic center now. Here's Asher Roth.
This report is brought to you by Specsavers. If you're traveling on the eastbound 401, expect problems east of Mavis and the Express. A new problem, I should say. A stalled vehicle. It's blocking the right lane, not really causing a delay. And then at the 427, there's construction in the right lane. It's got the ramp to Dixon eventually blocked. And then you're going to find it slow from Bayview to Leslie in the Express. And from east of the DVP to Warden in the Collectors, 2 right lanes are blocked there. The ramps to and from Victoria Park, the ramp to Warden, both shut down. And then expect delays from Stevenson to Simcoe, where the 2 right lanes are blocked. No access to the highway from Stevenson. The ramps to Simcoe and then to Liberty are shut down. No access to the westbound 401 from Liberty or from Ritson. The ramp to Bowmanville Avenue is closed, and so are the ramps from Martin Grove and Dixon. Northbound DVP still heavy from the Gardner up to north of Dundas. 2 left lanes are blocked. In fact, this is backing up things on the eastbound Gardner from Jarvis to the DVP. Can't get on to the northbound DVP from Queen or Dundas either. Westbound Rutherford ramp to the southbound 400 is shut down, and so is the eastbound 407 ramp to the southbound 400. Southbound 404 ramp to the eastbound 401 is shut down, and if you're on the northbound 427, the ramp to the eastbound 401 is 2 right lanes blocked there for construction as well. Northbound Highway 11, the ramps to and from Penetanguishene Road or Highway 93, they are shut down, and you can't get on the westbound 407 from southbound Dufferin or from Jane, while the ramps to and from Kiel are shut down. No access to the eastbound 407 from Highway 27. In the Specsavers Black Friday sale, you can get 50% off lens upgrades. 50% off? Like the sound of that. Conditions and exclusions apply. See specsavers.ca. With the forecast, here's meteorologist Jesse Uppel.
Mainly cloudy with scattered flurries possible through this evening and overnight. We dip down to -2, winds making it feel more like -9, which will become quite strong through the day tomorrow with this incoming system, which is why we have winter weather travel advisories in effect for the city of Toronto and much of the GTHA. Widespread snow beginning early in the morning and continues through much of the evening as well. Locally up to 5 centimeters possible, but higher in some areas with lake enhancement. Those winds will be gusting upwards of 50 kilometers per hour. A high of 1 degree for your afternoon. Thursday, gusty winds, chance of flurries, a high of 0, and much cooler for Friday with a high only near -3. Your overnight low is -2.
Right now, we are sitting at -1, feeling like -7 with a partly cloudy sky. And still to come on 680 News, a tumultuous day in South Korea after the president there declares martial law, and now there are calls for him to step down or face impeachment. That story, your headlines and sports all up next. 680 News Time, 11:44.
Your next stay-and-play golf trip is waiting at Osprey Valley. Located in Caledon, TPC Toronto at Osprey Valley is the host of the 2025 RBC Canadian Open, and it's the perfect place for your next golf trip. At Osprey Valley, play 3 of Canada's top 100 courses, all in one easy-to-reach destination. Plus, the new Two Brothers restaurant is open to the public year-round, and the new clubhouse is the perfect host for tournaments, events, weddings, and more. Visit ospreyvalley.com to book your golf getaway today.
Looking for value? Get more for your PC Optimum points during the Holiday Super Redemption event at Shoppers Drug Mart. From now until December 4th, redeem 130,000 points to get up to $200 off. That's an extra $70 in value. Conditions apply. Plus, we've dropped prices on hundreds of everyday essentials. So visit Shoppers Drug Mart today and enjoy 2 great ways to save for the holidays. Exclusions apply. Details in store and online.
Toronto's trusted news. 680 News Radio.
It's -1 and partly cloudy. Good evening. I'm Christine Ritchie. Here are the top stories this hour. I hope you're able to get your winter tires on in time because tomorrow morning you'll likely need them. A winter weather advisory is now in place, calling for about 5 centimeters of snow to hit the GTA beginning in the morning. And Ontario's Auditor General releases a damning report accusing the Ford government of overspending on costs to move the Science Centre and redevelop Ontario Place, as well as raising the flag over questionable bidding processes. And with a provincial election likely around the corner, Liberal leader Bonnie Crombie used an official dinner tonight to say how she's going to help Ontarians, including promising a family doctor for everyone within 4 years.